Diary of St. Francis de Sales, August 4. Whoever has a true desire to serve the Lord and flee from sin should not grieve over thoughts of death and judgment. Although both must be feared, such fear should not be so dreadful and terrifying that it weakens and diminishes the spirit's vigor and strength. Instead, it should be a fear so coupled with trust in God's goodness that it becomes gentle and calm. Spiritual Letters. St. Francis de Sales was a Dominican tertiary, as it was permissible at the time to belong as a tertiary to several religious orders. As a brother of the Dominican order and a son of the Holy Founder, he usually spent this day with the community, preaching in praise of the Holy Patriarch with great devotion and fervor. One day, Father Blanc, one of the senior Dominicans of the Annecy convent and very close to the Holy Bishop, said to him, "Monsignor, you must love our church much more than the others in this city, for you were confirmed in it, preached for Lent, established your catechism work here, and were registered in our confraternity." The saint replied, "It is true. All this is true, my father, but it is also true that I love your church in the third place. First is St. Peter's, which is my bride. Next is the Visitation, which I consecrated and belongs to my daughters. And the third is St. Dominic's, to which my brothers belong and which I love fraternally." Father Blanc retorted, "But Monsignor, your ancestors are in this church, and it will be your final resting place." Smiling, the holy prelate replied, "Ah, dear Father, I am a child of Mary, and I must return to her bosom to find my rest," thus implying that he would be buried in St. Mary's. The father fervently replied, "How, Monsignor? Would you make the mistake of abandoning your ancestor's tomb and not being buried in our house?" The saint said, "Truly, my father, we must leave all this to providence, for after our death, both you and I will rest where we are placed." On August 4, 1606, St. Francis de Sales, during a pastoral visit, climbed with great effort the high mountain where the church of Our Lady of Nancy-sur-Cluse stands, so much so that his legs became bloodied. When he recounted this to his family, he said he experienced two things. One, not being sufficiently accustomed to serving God in such conditions, and the other, the joy of having shed blood in the service of the Holy Mother of God. Despite being asked repeatedly to stop, he refused and generously continued his pastoral work, reaping great benefits in that parish, from which he wrote to St. Jane de Chantal that he found wonderful consolations in discovering in those alpine places truly angelic souls perfectly formed in the service of devotion, guided solely by heavenly grace. Sales offers a profound reflection on our spiritual life, focusing on love, trust in divine providence, and dedication to serving God despite challenges. Here's an extensive meditation drawn from his writings, embracing balanced fear and trust. St. Francis teaches us to balance fear and trust in our spiritual journey. While acknowledging the gravity of death and judgment, he urges us not to be paralyzed by fear. Instead, we are to trust in God's goodness, allowing this trust to engender a serene and calm spirit. This approach transforms our fear into a sweet reassurance, grounded in our faith in divine mercy. Dedication to service. The reflections highlight a profound dedication to serving God, even in difficult circumstances. St. Francis's willingness to endure physical hardship in his pastoral duties exemplifies a spirit of commitment and sacrifice. His actions encourage us to persevere in our service to God, accepting challenges and difficulties as opportunities to express our devotion and strengthen our faith. Love and spiritual priorities. St. Francis illustrates a hierarchy of love and spiritual allegiance among the different churches he serves. By prioritizing his commitments based on his spiritual relationships, viewing the Church of St. Peter as a bride and the visitation as belonging to his spiritual daughters, he emphasizes the importance of ordered love in our spiritual lives. We learn to discern where our deepest commitments lie and align our actions accordingly. Trust in providential care. His response to the concerns about his place of burial reflects an unwavering trust in providence. St. Francis teaches us to release control over future uncertainties, recognizing that ultimately God's plan will prevail. This lesson invites us to surrender our anxieties and insecurities, resting peacefully in the assurance that divine care and wisdom will guide us. Finding joy in sacrifice. Despite the physical toll of his ministry, St. Francis finds joy in his sacrifices made for God and the Church. This joy in suffering is a testament to his deep faith and love for God. It encourages us to find fulfillment and joy in our trials, understanding them as part of our spiritual growth and service to God's greater plan. Recognizing grace in community. His joy in recognizing the innate goodness and devotion in the Alpine community underlines the significance of community in spiritual life. It reminds us that true devotion is not confined to grand gestures, but is often found in simple, heartfelt service inspired by divine grace. We are encouraged to see the angels among us, recognizing the quietly profound acts of faith and devotion in our communities. In essence, St. Francis de Sales encourages us to live a life of balanced fear and trust, dedicated service, ordered love, reliance on providence, and joy in sacrifice. His meditations challenge us to deepen our spirituality and remain steadfast in our faith amidst life's challenges.